Hello and welcome to a new episode of your distant learning course. Mr. Bakhri here. Happy learning. Today's focus is grammar and our topic is the passive voice, part 3. A quick reminder before we start. In the first video, we saw a brief introduction of the form and use of the passive voice. And we dealt with case number 1 on transforming sentences from active voice to passive voice, sentences in which we have one object. And we saw all the steps necessary to transform these sentences. In the second video, we dealt with case 2, making the passive of sentences with two objects. First, we learned how to make the passive starting with the indirect object and then starting with the direct object. And finally, the passive of sentences having indirect objects as pronouns. And we finished the video with an exercise with key answers. Now take a look at this sentence. Drivers must respect crosswalks. What is new in this sentence? How does it differ from sentences in case 1 and case 2? Yes? Exactly, must. And what is must? Excellent. It's a modal. Good. Do you know any other modals? Yes, we have must, should, can, could, would, ought to, etc. And this is the third case of the passive voice. And let's see how we can do it. As always, first things first. Let's start with analyzing the sentence. So what do we have? Drivers is the subject. Respect is the verb. And what else is the verb? Here we have a modal plus verb. And finally, crosswalks is the object. Always start this way because it's safe. The steps we follow in making the passive with modals are the same. So let's start with step number 1. Object of the active sentence becomes the subject of the passive one. Number 2, we need an auxiliary, which is to be, in the tense or form of the active verb. Number 3, plus the past participle of the active verb. And finally, number 4 and 5, plus by plus agent, which is the subject of the active sentences. Now let's follow these steps and make the passive of our sentence. Drivers must respect crosswalks. So step 1. Exactly. So the object becomes the subject. Step number 2. We need an auxiliary to be in the tense or form of the active verb, and we have exactly, must be. So we have must respect, must be, and always a verb after a modal should be in bare infinitive, infinitive without to. Now step number 3. Respected the past participle of the active verb, and we get crosswalks must be respected, or if we want to mention by whom, step number 4 and 5, by drivers. And the final result, crosswalks must be respected or must be respected by drivers. You see? So simple, so easy. And here is your task. Now rewrite the sentences beginning with the words given. Again, on your notebook, you take 6 minutes to do the task. Number 1, you should clean your room every day. Number 2, Nora needs to update the website. Number 3, they must have sent the report. And number 4, we couldn't take pictures of the sunset. 6 minutes, off you go. Okay, have you finished? Alright, let's correct. Before we correct, what are the modals in these sentences? Exactly, we have should, needs to, must, and it's in the past, must have. And here must is not for obligation, it's for certainty or reduction. And finally, couldn't. So let's start with number 1. Alright, starting from the start. Let's analyze the sentence. What do we have? So we have the subject, the verb, clean, but we have a modal plus verb. And finally, your room, which is the object. Step number 1 is already done. What is step number 2? Excellent, should be. So we have modal plus verb, modal plus be. And finally, exactly, cleaned, and we get your room should be cleaned every day. Excellent job. Number 2, Nora needs to update the website. So we have the website. Number 2, excellent, needs to be. And step number 3, updated. Excellent. You can say by Nora if you want. It's okay. Now number 3, they must have sent the report. Okay, the report. Very good. Must have been sent. Very good. The report must have been sent. It means I'm certain the report has been sent. And finally, we couldn't take pictures of the sunset. And we have the pictures of the sunset. Exactly. Couldn't be. And step number 3, taken. Excellent, which is the past participle of the verb to take. Take, took, taken. So the pictures of the sunset couldn't be taken. And that's the passive voice with modals, which most students think it is so easy. You see? Very simple, very easy. But hold on, take a look at this sentence. Most students think this lesson is so easy. Can you make it passive? You may start this way. It is. Oh yes, we haven't seen this because this is case 4 of the passive, which we're going to see in the next video, inshallah, and the next lesson, the impersonal passive. And that's it for today's class. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, take care.